My name is Mary Smith, and I'm one of the founding members of the Boulder County Community Rights Network. Once we started reaching out to other people in the community, when we told them that, what we wanted to do is actually change the governmental structure of the county to home rule, people just started coming out of the woodwork. It's a remedy that really empowers the people, and because it's a form of government that is truly of the people. When the founding of Colorado, originally all towns, cities, municipalities, and counties were statutory in nature and only has authority to do certain things. It is an extension of the state, and so therefore does not make any local laws except for those that the state permits. In a statutory form of government, citizens only have 3 possibilities for initiative. Initiative is being able to get a petition together, take that petition out, get signatures on it, and get whatever that item is on the ballot for the citizenry, the electorate, to actually vote on. Well, in a statutory form of government, there's only 3 things that citizens can do. One is to petition for home rule. The second is to recall their commissioners or council. And the third is to actually expand in a county, expand the commission from 3 commissioners to 5. So that was our limitations, basically, in statutory county. We, as citizenry, have no voice and no authority to define what we want to have happen here. Home rule, on the other hand, is a form of government where there's 2 ways that the citizens have input. The first is actually the creation of the Constitution. And that Constitution is the grounding or the basis for the law within the county. So depending on how that Constitution is written and what is included in the charter, that defines the authority that the citizenry or the county as a whole has over the running of county business. The county government is basically a structure within the state. And by switching to home rule, it switches up the accountability factor, where they're accountable to the people rather than to the state government. What we're proposing by establishing home rule is we're proposing that the people of Boulder County will finally have a form of democracy, a form of self-governance at the local level that we have not had in the history of Boulder County through our statutory nature. So back in our history, over 200 years ago, we had 2 factions. We had the Federalists and we had the Anti-Federalists, and they were both involved in writing of the Constitution. Federalists won, and what we ended up with in our Constitution, our federal Constitution, is basically a property document, where property rights is what creates law. It's and the Anti-Federalists, and Thomas Jefferson headed up this group, they believed that the Constitution should be a document that was based on natural law. And the difference between property law and natural law is natural law includes rights that we are granted through our very creation. So because we exist, we have a right to exist. And part of our right to exist is our right to have an environment that supports our existence. So a right to clean air and clean water and clean soil and clean food, the right to self-government and self-governance, the right to determine what we want to have happen in our communities. The approach that we want to take is that when we write our charter, we want to include rights-based language by including a Bill of Rights. Our petition is to get enough signatures so that we can get a measure on the ballot to advance the home rule process. Shall Boulder County establish a home rule charter commission? The first step is actually establishing that commission of 21 citizens to write the charter. So we need not quite 13,000 signatures to get it onto the ballot for November 4th. We've got a website built. It's BCCRN.org. That's Boulder County Community Rights Network.org. You just go to the website. You can read all about home rule. You can read about why we're doing this. There is a calendar of events on there. We've got a very well-organized petition circulator group actively pursuing signatures. People can just go to the website and they can look to see where circulators are going to be, at what time, what location, so they can seek them out so that they have an opportunity to sign the petition. If you want to volunteer to circulate a petition, you can sign up to volunteer there. We also are doing a number of community educational events to actually educate people about this process. It's really necessary that the citizenry of this community understand why we are in the situation that we're in, the history behind it, and then this remedy that's available to us and the process by which it can happen. Everyone needs to get involved. This is a community movement, and it's going to involve, hopefully, eventually, everyone in this community, because it will give everyone the ability to actually assert their democratic right and authority at the ballot. What it comes down to, though, is that every community should have a right to say what happens in that community. And we do not have the legal authority to do that here in the county because we're not home rule. So we want that authority because that's what democracy is.